the Armed Forces provides amazing training.
I think about veterans as people who have already figured out how to serve.
My military skills have been essential.
Hiring veterans is a great business case. They're the best employees we have. They're flexible, hardworking, and they're used to a global workplace.
If that isn't an asset to any company, I don't know what is.
Hiring America, the award-winning television job fair for American veterans. Connecting you with companies who know your value. Learn about employers who are actively hiring today and organizations that support veterans. Your future success starts right here on Hiring America.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television series that helps military veterans find jobs and transition into meaningful careers. I'm Lauren Wanko. Today we're speaking with companies that are actively recruiting veterans and with organizations who serve the military community. We're also speaking with veterans like you who've made successful transitions into the civilian workforce. We'll help connect you to job openings and give you the information to get you the job you deserve. Log on to our website, hiringamerica.net, for more information and connect with us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. In the early 1990s, Gordon Logan recognized the potential and lack of competition in the men's and boys' haircut market. He launched SportClips, a hair care franchise that has grown from one store in Austin, Texas, to more than 1,600 locations in all 50 states and Canada. Before founding SportClips, Gordon served as an aircraft commander in the U.S. Air Force, and he joins us now at the International Franchise Association Convention in Las Vegas. Welcome to Hiring America.
Well, thank you, Lawrence. Good to be here.
What is your sales pitch for veterans watching? Why should they join SportClips?
Well, we have a great success rate. Our continuity rate is over 99%, which means we have very, very few failures in SportClips. We pride ourselves on that. 2010 and 2016, we only had 6 stores closed in the whole system out of 1,600 stores. So we put a lot of resources to help our franchisees be successful. Training and support, marketing programs, it's a complete package, and we put our franchisees first. Their profitability is our number one concern.
And why are veterans a good fit at SportClips?
Well, veterans have leadership skills, understand team building, they understand working within a system, executing systems, and the dedication and the commitment and the perseverance they have is something that every entrepreneur really needs.
Do you have a program in place to recruit military veterans?
We offer incentives to our veterans who, on the franchise fee, a 20% discount on the franchise fee coming in, and we monitor the veterans' progress pretty closely, and where necessary, we have additional resources we can bring to bear to help them be successful.
You've said that the heart of SportClips is in its value system. What are those values, and do they align with the values that somebody gains in the military?
Well, we believe in keeping things simple in SportClips. So our values are straightforward. It's do the right thing, do your best, and treat people the way they want to be treated. When you're in the military and you're running an operation, you have to provide leadership and get the team to work together. So you have to set the example. You have to treat your team with respect. And that's what we see carry forward into veterans when they come into franchising, is that they have the ability to build those teams and treat their team members with respect.
How many veteran-owned SportClips are there?
We have about 15% of our franchisees are veterans. I think 200 of our locations are owned by veterans, and so it's something we would like to increase that percentage. We love having them being part of our system.
What do you think is the best way to increase those numbers so you have more veteran franchisees?
Reaching out and educating is really a critical challenge. Vet Fran program is focused on raising awareness among the veteran community of franchising, and we just had a Vet Fran panel earlier today, and that was one of the topics of discussion. How can we reach out more to veterans, not only veterans who are making the transition out of the military today, but those who have transitioned out in the past. And so there's a lot of resources going to be dedicated to that.
Do potential franchisees have to have a real passion for hair?
No, very few of our franchisees have any experience in the hair business. I'm an engineer by training, and I was a pilot in the Air Force, and I was a consultant before I got into franchising and hair care. So we're looking for good business people, people with good values, good work ethics, who understand the importance of teamwork and leadership, and we can teach them what they need to know about the hair business. And of course, we hire licensed hairstylists to actually do the haircuts.
Did you always have that entrepreneurial spirit? Was it something that you recognized while you were in the military?
I started paper route when I was a kid, not delivering but picking up and recycling. I was one of the early recyclers back in the 50s, and back then they used newspapers for packing for moving, and sold it to the moving companies, 25-pound rolls for 25 cents. And then I had a Christmas card route. I drove my bicycle around town selling Christmas cards before everybody, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, schools started doing that. So yes, I've been always been an entrepreneur, looking for different ways to earn a living and do something that has some value to other people.
You have years of experience in the franchising industry. Share some personal advice for our viewers.
It's really important for anyone who's looking at a franchise, especially a veteran, to really dig into the franchise disclosure document, to talk to other franchisees in the system to get validation. Vet Fran has implemented the STAR program now for our franchise members. Veterans should look at that. There's a number of criteria: how long they've been in business, how long they've been franchising, do they have a clean audit statement, simple things. And that gives the veterans a framework. And whether a franchise is ranked 1, 3, or 5 stars, different franchises may have different reasons for being there. They need to look at that and think about it and see what's important to them. But probably the most critical is to talk to other franchisees in that system, especially other veteran franchisees, to get the real skinny on what's going down there.
We'll be back with more of Hiring America in a moment.
Continue the conversation on our Facebook page and Twitter, and visit our website at hiringamerica.net. This week, Hiring America and Virginia Values Veterans honors the Virginia Economic Development Partnership, a proud V3 certified agency that increases employment opportunities for veterans.
Virginia is the best place for veterans. We love our veterans. Per capita, we have more veterans than any state in America. We got a booming economy. We've got the best education, the best workforce system in the United States of America. 28 miles of oceanfront. We got the mountains. We've got the heritage. We've got 286 wineries. We've got 164 craft breweries, low taxes, business friendly, the largest naval base in the world, the Pentagon, all here in Virginia. Don't go anywhere else. Come here to Virginia. Great jobs and great quality of life.
SportClips has provided meaningful careers to more than 15,000 team members as stylists, store managers, educators, and as franchisees themselves. We're actively giving back to our communities in many ways through our Haircuts with Heart, including having raised almost $5 million for the VFW Foundation, providing free phone calls home for troops overseas and in hospitals, and awarding over 700 scholarships to veterans transitioning to civilian careers through our Help a Hero scholarship program.
Tell us a little bit more about your charitable program and why it's so important for the company to give back.
I think in our business, a lot of our workforce are millennials, and millennials are very giving and caring, and they like to be associated with companies that are doing good things and giving back, and it really is an integral part of our culture. We feel like it's very important, and it really builds a strong esprit de corps and helps us attract and retain the type of people we need to deliver that championship client experience to our clients. We're also very active with the American Red Cross and their blood drives. We support that. We're the founding national sponsor for St. Baldrick's Foundation, childhood cancer research. We do a number of different things with the Veterans Associations, USO, we're big supporters of USO, Ageless Aviation Dreams, which takes World War II and career vets and assisted living up in Stearman biplanes rides.
How does it make you feel as a veteran to give back to your fellow veterans?
I think it's the least we can do to say thank you to all the sacrifices our veterans have made for us and lend a hand up and not a hand out. So it's important for us to help veterans be successful in their careers and do what we can to make their lives a little bit better.
Where can our viewers find out more information about SportClips?
Well, www.sportclips.com, and we'd love to have you check into SportClips.
Thank you for joining us on Hiring America.
Thank you very much, Logan.
When my son was born, June of last year, the level of responsibility that I had known before had completely changed. The first time I held him, I couldn't believe it. You know, you spend 9 months preparing for something, and then when it happens, it's completely different than everything you expect. My grandfather had a huge impact on my life. Growing up, I didn't have a father figure. I was the youngest of 4 brothers, and it was just my mom, and so she kind of had to work 2 jobs most of the time to help, provide for us, and so she wasn't always around, and so I didn't really have a lot of guidance, and so I kind of latched on with my grandfather as my male role model. He kind of was the one that made me realize what it means to be a man, or a father, a person at home. So I got most of my characteristics from him, I think. After 9/11, my grandfather, he and I were sitting together in the living room at his house when we were watching the news, and I just remember him being, angry. He was sad, and he talked about, being too old to support. He was too old to join the military. He couldn't make a difference, and I felt like I had to do something, and I knew that I could once I graduated high school, and so that's when I made the decision to join the military. So I joined the Air Force in September of '07. I was stationed, of course, in Texas for my basic training, and then afterwards I was sent to Tucson, Arizona for my first duty station, and they told me that I would be deploying in a few months right after I got there, so that was a bit of a shock to know it was going to be happening so quickly. After about 6 years in the military, that's when I started realizing that I was becoming more of an expert on the heavy equipment, on the CE type, civil engineering type aspects of the job, and so about that time is when you start becoming the trainer or the guide for some of the new guys coming into the military, and so that's kind of what stemmed my appreciation for teaching. Now that I've transitioned out of the military, my new goal is to be a teacher. I want to teach math at the high school level. I want to be that positive role model for kids that are in bad situations or situations where they need somebody to talk to. And I want to be that positive experience that I had growing up. It's nice to know that there are organizations like SportClips out there that are willing to help veterans and provide things like the Help a Hero Scholarship for them. And it makes life a lot easier, and it takes a lot of stress off of that transition that you have. If I had to describe what it means to be a recipient of the Help a Hero Scholarship in just one word, I would have to say it means security. Security for myself, but also my wife and kid, and also it's a huge blessing.
Hiring America will be back in a moment.
FedEx, the American courier delivery services company, provides a rich opportunity for military veterans to use their skills, discipline, and values to build a rewarding career at their company. Joining us is Marvin Hill, a project management advisor for FedEx Freight and 35-year veteran of the U.S. Army. Welcome to Hiring America.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Marvin, tell me about your very long military career.
I guess I look at my military careers in 3 trimesters. The first trimester was the trimester where I learned my trade as an infantryman. The second trimester of my career is where I was establishing my brand, where I was learning the type of leadership that I was going to display as an Army leader. And then the third trimester of my career is where I was a senior leader in the Army, where I had established my brand, and then I was deployed in combat operations time and time again that really established really a new brand for me.
So when you were transitioning out of those deployments and such a long career, what was that process like for you?
Well, it was somewhat challenging for me. Not so much physically. I was ready to go. I did 35 years. I had been all I could be. But the emotional piece of it, letting go was something that you knew that you did all your adult life. So that was somewhat of a challenge. The other challenge was moving into a city that was not a GI town, if you will.
And what was it like coming into the civilian workforce, and how did you find FedEx?
Well, I knew what they were about, They understood veterans and appreciated what veterans bring to the table. And they have lots of work in the community that's well respected with their community involvement.
And tell us about FedEx's military hiring initiative and their onboarding process.
Right now, we're trying to get into the transition centers. You know, as service members are transitioning out of the military, we're trying to get them doing that decision-making process, you know, which is much sooner than a hiring event like a job fair, if you will. So onboarding is almost like going through basic training. You know, they're not going to put you in front of a piece of equipment or in front of people until they know that you're ready to take on that responsibility.
And once veterans are employed with FedEx, how are they supported?
We have the FedEx U.S. Veteran Network, which is a network that assists veterans in their process and their education throughout the corporation. We have other support groups such as Driver Apprentice Program, where someone can transition out of the military without a commercial driver's license and still pick up the trade and the skills to be a driver. We have the Fleet Maintenance Apprentice Program. Again, something where someone can transition out of the military and pick up the skill and then be supported throughout that, and their education continues. And then, as most companies, we also have the Veteran Appreciation days and months where we just really spotlight veterans.
Talk about FedEx's Military Veterans Network Affinity Group and what kind of services do they offer?
Well, they offer some of the programs that assist veterans when they're struggling. There are emotional struggles that some veterans go through because we know about the PTSD. FedEx works well with the medical community to get the veteran the medical assistance that is needed. There's also a link with financial organizations where FedEx can point our service members or our veterans to the right organizations that can assist them financially as well.
What's it like working for a company with leadership, with the CEO who's a military veteran?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, the things that he learned in the military, you know, during the Vietnam era as a young lieutenant and captain, what he learned and how he applies that to running FedEx. And I would tell you, as a veteran, I walked into the organization and I recognized the structure. I recognized the culture, right? Because he brought that with him. And so it's awesome.
What advice would you give to other veterans as they're transitioning out of their service and into the trucking industry?
Well, one, stay focused on the things that brought you here. Attention to detail, discipline, safety. Those things are important while you're in uniform, and they're important to the trucking industry. To FedEx Freight, we focus on that. Being able to adapt to condition changes and environmental changes. I mean, that's transportation. I mean, the environment can be our friend and it can be our enemy, so be able to adapt to that. And the other thing I would say is do not underestimate the value of entering at an entry-level position. So often veterans, you know, we don't want to enter at the entry-level position, but there's a lot of education and a lot of credentials that's gained at that entry level. And if you all that you think you are, you won't stay there very long.
So what types of jobs are available at FedEx?
Project management for one, personnel management or human resources, there's communication, there's information technology, there's maintenance, there's driver, there's security. The positions go on. If you think about what type of jobs are available in any industry, those types of jobs are available at FedEx. I mean, the communication piece, someone can come out of the military as a public affairs and roll right into a great job at FedEx and FedEx Freight in our communications. So, I mean, the sky's the limit, really.
Command Sergeant Major Marvin Hill, thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you, and it's great being here. It's great to be able to tell my story, and it's great to be with FedEx, and particularly FedEx Freight.
Hiring America will be back in a moment.
Thanks for watching. The information we've just shared is all on our website, hiringamerica.net. Log on and find out about companies who are hiring veterans. And don't forget to connect with us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, where you can find helpful tips and full episodes of the show. I'm Lauren Wanko. Join us again for another episode of Hiring America.
This program is made possible by the generous support of the following companies and the ongoing support of these companies. Promotional consideration provided by JetBlue, a proud employer of those who served.